One thing that stood out was how proud he was of the Niners for stepping up when the momentum shifted in the Seattle game. They made the big plays they needed to win. He highlighted Leonardo Green's interception as the game's biggest moment, which I totally agree with. He also talked about the rookie class. What I've noticed is that it's not just filled with talented players. These guys also have great character. The Niners really nailed it with this rookie group. These are genuinely good people. Ricky Pearsall has been activated and is ready to play on Sunday. Lynch mentioned it this morning, and Kyle confirmed it later today. Ricky will be on special teams and playing wide receiver. When it comes to the matchup, Lynch emphasized the importance of staying in the moment. This game is a rematch of last year's Super Bowl, and it could even preview this year's. But the Niners are focused on the present, no looking back or ahead. They want to play their best on Sunday. Lynch told Murph and Marcus that if you want to be the best, you have to beat the best, and Kansas City is currently the best. They're well coached, and Lynch praised Brett Veach as one of the top general managers. He also mentioned that Andy Reid is a friend and talked about how Chiefs defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo has adapted over time to the changes in the game. Lynch has faith in Isaac Reno and Patrick Taylor, but he expects to see Jordan Mason, who's recovering from an AC joint sprain, play this weekend. He's been practicing well. As for Christian McCaffrey, Lynch said there's no new update. They're hoping to ramp him up after the bye week, aiming for around weeks 10 to 12 to get him back on the field. When asked about Patrick Mahomes, Lynch highlighted that Mahomes is a phenomenal closer. He can extend plays and really shine in the fourth quarter, so it's crucial for the Niners to keep the game out of Mahomes' hands in those final moments. Unfortunately, Jauan Jennings has a hip injury and didn't practice all week, so he won't play. Ricky Pearsall will likely take his spot for now. Shanahan hopes to have Jennings back for the Dallas game next week. Kevin Givens returned to practice today and is ready for the game. He's a key player on defense. Although J.P. Mason has been practicing in a non-contact jersey, he will play too. One more note. The New York Giants picked up offensive tackle Chris Hubbard from the Niners practice squad. They lost their star left tackle, Andrew Thomas, for the season, so they needed Hubbard. He's an experienced player with 94 NFL games under his belt. This leaves the Niners with an open spot on their practice squad. They currently only have Isaac Alleron and Drake Nett as backup offensive linemen, so they might need to add another tackle soon. There's also a rumor about the Niners showing interest in Panthers veteran running back Miles Sanders. He's only but coming off a tough game, where he only gained 1 yard on 3 carries. Personally, I think there are better options out there. For example, the Chiefs have Amani Bailey, a young and exciting player on their practice squad. I'd prefer to go after someone like him instead of Miles Sanders, who hasn't been as effective in recent years. So, that's the full breakdown. Today, Kyle gave us an update on injuries. As I mentioned, Jauan Jennings is out with a hip injury, and Matthew Wright has been placed on injured reserve due to a shoulder issue that's more serious than expected. Jake Moody is still sidelined with a high ankle sprain. However, J.P. Mason is set to play despite his AC joint injury, and Andre Carlson will be activated from the practice squad. Darrell Lutter and Kevin Givens are both questionable, so those will be game-time decisions. Ricky Pearsall looked great during practice this week. He improved every day, and he'll be activated for the game. On the Chiefs' side, they'll be missing defensive end Mike Dana due to a pectoral injury. One interesting stat I saw from NFL Next Gen Stats is that the Niners' defense is ranked number 1 in the NFL when they don't blitz, but dead last, 32nd when they do. If that's accurate, it's pretty surprising. It'll be fascinating to see how the Chiefs' defense performs without L'Jarius Sneed, who they traded to the Titans in the offseason due to salary cap issues. Last year, Sneed was a key player against zone coverage, which forced the Chiefs to rely more on man coverage. In the Super Bowl, they used man coverage 61% of the time, limiting key players like Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk to just a few catches. It's crucial that those receivers step up this week against man coverage. Brock Purdy had a solid 89.3 quarterback rating in Super Bowl 58 against Kansas City, but last week, he had a much higher rating of 129.3 against Seattle. Shanahan is brilliant at finding mismatches, and the Chiefs linebackers have struggled in pass coverage. Nick Bolton has a passer rating of 119 when targeted, while Drew Tranquill is at 122. Look for the Niners to target them in the passing game. The Chiefs rank 19th in defensive efficiency against tight ends, so expect George Kittle to have a big game. He scored 2 touchdowns against Seattle and has been in great form lately. Kansas City does defend the run well, allowing only 88 rushing yards per game, so the Niners will need to be strategic. The Chiefs are also coming off a bye week, so they'll be fresh. Interestingly, Kansas City's offense ranks 4th in the NFL for yards after the catch, YAC, which is impressive considering they've only played 5 games. The Niners have struggled with YAC, allowing 724 yards, 6th most in the league. Last week, they gave up 171 YAC yards to Seattle, and they've allowed over 100 YAC in 5 of their last 6 games. A major key for the Niners will be tackling effectively after the catch, especially against players like Xavier Worthy and Juju Smith-Schuster. One area where the Niners might have an edge is turnovers. Kansas City has turned the ball over on 16% of their drives, which is the 4th highest rate in the NFL. The Chiefs have won 4 games decided by 7 points or less, so while they're undefeated, they're not invincible. It'll be interesting to see how Brock Purdy handles the pressure in this game. Last week against Seattle, he had a quarterback rating of 124 when pressured. Chiefs defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo is known for creating pressure, often sending more defenders than the offense can block. This can lead to broken plays or hurried throws. Purdy has shown he can handle pressure well, so it'll be crucial to watch how he responds if the Chiefs play a high percentage of man coverage. If they turn their heads away from him, he might take off and run, forcing the Chiefs to switch their strategy. That wraps it up for us. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the KW Show. And a big shout out to Sharp Corner Sports Cards and Collectibles for sponsoring this video. Thanks to all of you for your support.